This show is not about Meghan Markle, but she will be mentioned a few times.
That is true.
Hello, and welcome to the special Reboot edition of Charm Chats with Kendra.
And Kat. Oh, it's early in the morning.
Yeah, we started a little bit earlier.
I'm tired.
Yeah. You had to wake up a whole hour early.
I did. Well,
Heaven forfend.
I was technically an hour and a half earlier than normal, but that's because the power went out and my fans turned off and I woke up because I was hot.
Ah.
But it worked out for the best because now I'm here early.
Yay.
Yay. Trying to be quiet so the dog doesn't wake up.
Yeah, just don't smack the table. He always wakes up when you smack the table.
Yeah. Anyway. So, Reboot.
Yes.
Episode 2.
Episode 2, Let This Mother Out.
Oh, yeah. That was the name of it, wasn't it?
Yep.
Oh, man.
Mm-hmm.
So,
okay.
We have Kendra's summary.
We have Kendra's summary, which I'm going to talk really fast. Because it's longer than the last one, and I'm not comfortable with that. I gotta find a way to actually fucking condense this shit. But too much happens in the episode. And I'd rather the people who aren't actually watching it know what's going on.
Exactly.
So here we go. We pick up right where we left off with Harry popping in to freak out the girls. He tells them to call him if they notice weird shit, lists a bunch of weird shit, and then tells them that spirit boards are really vulnerable to tricksters, so leave off of that. Later, Maggie helps Macy move into their mom's room, during which time we meet the mom bong, which is the cutest. The girls have an argument about consulting the spirit board again, with Macy advocating for them using a truth serum on Harry to find out if they can trust him, and Mel wanting to trust the board. They decide to go with the potion route, to Mel's chagrin. Maggie has the bright idea to try using gloves to block her powers and test it out at a bedside Kappa vigil for Angela Wu. It unfortunately has zero effect, and Maggie is forced to leave abruptly when she grabs the comatose Angela's hand and hears her screaming. Macy gets the final potion ingredient from the lab where she finds out a janitor reported being choked by a black blob. She takes a sample for study. Maggie, feeling stressed out, attempts to have some pressure valve sex with her ex Brian. Her powers make this interesting and entirely unsatisfying for her. Mel invites Nico over for lunch, and the spirit board catches her attention after she closes the call. Macy, having gone to the hospital to investigate the janitor's incident at the lab, finds Harry already there, ostensibly erasing the woman's memory. When Maggie returns to the house to complain at Mel, she finds her sister communing with the spirit board. As soon as she sits to join, Macy appears and witnesses the board reach out and grab Maggie. In a panic, Macy flings the board against the wall, breaking it into several pieces. Of course, Mel is super not happy about this and immediately sets about finding a way to fix it. Macy tells the both of them about the janitor and how she wants to tell Harry what she found out. Mel does not approve. Nico, bearing subs, interrupts their headbutting and meets Macy for their first time. Nico then gives Mel a reunion gift of a lovely record before being called back to the station. As Macy waits for Harry to arrive so she can dose him with some serum, her friend Galvin from the lab calls, telling her that the janitor has up and died. In the middle of an interrogation, Nico discovers that she cannot help saying exactly what she's thinking. She calls Mel, who immediately recognizes that the truth serum got switched at the house, and picks her up. Unfortunately, she hears far more than she bargains for. Mel and Maggie successfully release the spirit out of the spirit board, and are joyed beyond belief to see their mother. They are shocked when she tells them that Harry is the one who killed her and is planning to steal her powers. Harry, suspicious that Macy is refusing to actually talk about anything with him, realizes that she and her sisters are hiding something. He orbs the both of them to the attic, and is prevented from attacking the released spirit when Mel clubs him over the head with the Book of Shadows. The spirit of their mother tells the girls to retrieve a prism they can use to trap Harry. They discover it in a mirror in Marisol's old office, which Harry is now using, and walk through it together to retrieve it. They do, after navigating a bizarre mirror dimension. They return to find Harry and the spirit fighting. He throws it off of the stairs and tells them that it is an imposter demon who emotionally manipulates people by getting in their heads. Maggie, in a twist, backs him up and convinces Mel to stab the demon. Demon no likey, Mel has to freeze it before it stabs Maggie. Harry says that they need to show it its reflection, which is made difficult by the fact that summoning it smashed all of the mirrors in the house. Maggie, genius that she is, saves the day with a front-facing phone camera. Harry reassures the girls about their mistake, and they have a bonding moment of apology. Macy finally tells Harry of the black ooze she found, and he is very concerned and pops off. Maggie gives Belle and Macy some personal advice before going to tell Brian that their friends with Benny's time is indeed over. Macy apologizes to Galvin for overreacting at him about some lab stuff, and Mel follows Maggie's advice and resolves to forget that Nico told her she slept with her ex, which is easy when she finds out that Nico herself has forgotten. Maggie and Mel finally pack away all of their mom's stuff so that Macy can move into her room and not be living in a shrine. And Harry arrives to tell them that the ooze is apparently the Harbinger, which heralds the third phase of the prophecy he mentioned last episode. And it is seeking a vessel. And we end on a shot of Angela Wu opening her eyes. Okay, so, thoughts.
Oh man, so many.
Mm-hmm.
So many.
I love the whole Meghan Markle bit.
See,
I love it because it's really ridiculous. So Maggie decides, because they want to avoid using Harry's name in case it calls him, because they still don't trust him. So that Maggie decides to call him Meghan Markle, because Meghan Markle is married to Prince Harry, who is British, so it makes sense.
I enjoy it. It's not as cute to me as like the original where instead of using the word wedding, they used the word rutabaga. For some reason, that was funnier to me.
It feels like the same sort of ridiculousness.
But I think the reason
is less random.
It's less random, and it's one of those where, like, if they continue doing it, it's going to get old. But I think because of the way that it winds up in this episode, where he now knows that they call him Meghan Markle, it was funny in that moment. It was funny, but it's one of those where I think because it was too on the nose, thing
that makes sense to me because Maggie wanted to find a way that they would immediately know. They would all just know who she was talking about, and it's word association.
Yeah, I guess
that makes sense to me.
I guess. I don't know.
Also, that made Macy ask him if he's ever met Meghan Markle.
Yes, very true. Yeah, I do think it's funny that when the episode first started and the janitor woman was mopping up and whatever and
like learning
German. Yeah, I was just like, okay, just random woman learning German while mopping. This
okay, what I found on the nose is that the phrase she was on in her German audio tape was "Please help me." Yeah, and then she gets attacked, and she's like in German, "Please help me."
Yeah.
Like, that was a bit on the nose.
Yeah. But, like, legit, I was like, random woman learning German while mopping. This is going to end well for her, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I did enjoy the funniness of while Harry is telling them to look out for demonic activity, he mentions that presidential tweets are part of that. It was kind of funny.
Yeah, also, dog copulation.
Yeah. Rise in dog copulation.
Yes.
I like also that it looks like they're changing the way the logo comes in to go with each episode. So last time it was breaking glass. This time it like comes up out of black ooze.
Okay, I must not have been paying attention because I don't remember seeing that.
Yeah.
But the last time I watched it, I was writing. And the first time I watched it, I was at work. So
there you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, it this time it came up out of black ooze.
That's nice.
Yeah, so that's a cool little change. I like that. It's a nice little.
Yeah, I like that they can just slightly personalize it for each episode.
I still don't like the font that they chose for the word, but I'll get past it.
It's actually fairly close to the original.
It is fairly
font.
close to the original. It's just it's a little more like swoopy, I guess is the right.
It's less angular. The original font had some points and jagged edges.
Yeah, and I liked that a little better. But I understand why they did it this way, because it is a little...
It's more
flowy, more modern.
Just like how they keep redesigning cars to be, like, rounder.
Yeah, sleek and round.
Yeah. I actually got really mad when they redesigned the CRV, because the 03 that I had, like, the design of it was entirely unique. there were no other cars on the road that looked like a CRV in the way that a bunch of SUVs look like each other, and you have to actually look at the logo to figure out what the fuck it is.
Yeah.
But then they changed the CRV design. I was like, well, now it just looks like every other fucking SUV out there.
Yep.
And I'm like, I'm not bitter about it anymore, but I'm still a little like, well,
Yeah. Like, well, fine then. Yeah.
Well, fine. You took something that was recognizable and fucked it up.
Yep. So let's see what else. Mel is still my least favorite sister. She has yet to raise in the ranks at all.
I really love how cute she gets when she's talking to Nico.
That because she has personality in those scenes.
She yeah, she definitely still needs to work on her anger. She's
still, like, while the other girls have become much more 3-dimensional, she's still at 1.5. She still needs a personality. And, like, they just haven't really let her have one yet. And so toward the end of the episode, she's getting a little better, and I'm hoping that she keeps getting better because she's not my favorite.
I'm guessing, based on most of the plot of this episode kind of centered around, or like, I don't know that it was the A or B plot. It might have been like the C plot or whatever, but like Maggie's struggle controlling her powers and like how that was affecting her life and like her feelings about that shit.
Yeah.
And the fact that her powers actually help save the day at the end. I'm guessing based on that whole plot thing that they're going to do that for each of the girls, because the pilot was all about them meeting and working together. So it was, I believe I said it felt rushed.
Yeah, a little bit.
And that's because they just had to fit so much in. But this one didn't feel rushed, even though looking at it, a lot happened.
Yeah, a lot happened in this episode.
But it was mostly about Maggie's emotional journey, and I think they're going to try and work on Macy's and Mel's as well. Who knows who's going to come first?
Yeah.
Goodness knows. But, like, they mentioned during the episode about helping Macy find out what the whole deal was, why she thought her mother was dead, when, in fact, she was just given unto her father. Like, I'm a little sad that he's dead because we won't get to, like, hear from him about it, but obviously they wouldn't do a thing like they did with the original series where like dad pops in occasionally and like becomes part of their life, because he's not all of their dads.
Right. The other thing that they could possibly do, and not knowing where they're going to go with it, who knows if they will, but they could always give us flashbacks.
They could.
And so we learn about Macy through flashbacks.
That would be nice.
Which would be kind of cool.
And we don't even know what happened to Mel and Maggie's dad. I don't think we've heard word one about that.
We have no idea.
He's not in the picture, obviously, but maybe he could pop up.
Yeah, don't know.
It would be a bit weird. They'd have to lay the groundwork for that first.
Yes, they would, because they haven't mentioned him at all. So, like, part of me hopes he doesn't come in at all.
I just want to know.
And I'm going to put this out here right now, kind of like with the Maggie trying to use gloves to stop her powers. I'm like, and as I wrote in my little notes here, I said gloves aren't going to help, and if they do, I'm boycotting, because no, it should not be that easy. You have to control your power, and that's how it stops happening every single time. But it
was a good idea. She's got a lot of good ideas.
Yeah, it was a good idea, and it works in the movies, but not in real life. But if they try and like, I'm putting this out here right now, episode 2, if they bring in their dad as a bad guy, I'm boycotting. Like, no, I'm sorry.
That would not be fun.
No. Like, just have their dad as you know, he's either dead,
estranged,
or but don't bring him in as a bad guy, because no. Anyway, let's see what else annoyed me.
See, you saying that now makes me think it's gonna happen.
I know, right? I know. Oh yeah, the Kappa shit is also gonna get really old really fast. But for me personally, I think that's just because I really am not a fan of the whole sorority fraternity thing. So that might just be a me thing. It's my own bias at play, and I get that. But, like, it's going to get annoying really fast. And I know it's going to keep coming up because now...
Yeah.
Coma Girl is going to become a bad guy.
She's still gonna have to rush, though.
Yeah,
God.
oh my God.
Although, I got a really big laugh out of what's-her-face texting Maggie, K.
Yeah.
I got a huge laugh out of
Still no exclamation points.
That was not what made me laugh. It's just like the
Just the
whole meme of like, I've sent you this extremely long thing, K.
Yeah.
If there's a period, you know they're really pissed.
Yeah.
If there's nothing, then they're still not happy. But like that's why I don't ever send just a K. I do a KK or Okies.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. And I try and send back full sentences because that's me.
Well, I typically write in full sentences, but if I'm just, like, agreeing with something or acknowledging something, I just do a cutesy thing, because why the fuck not? Okay, so the second Nico walked in with that tumbler, I was like,
God.
Okay, we're switching.
Yep.
That was so telegraphed so early.
Oh, man.
And, like... The second Macy sets the thing down, I'm like, okay, yep, they're definitely doing that. That's a thing.
Which was funny, though, because Macy's tumbler was slightly shorter than Nico's.
But they were both silver.
But they were both silver.
Stainless steel.
Yeah. So it's like, this is why you should have a unique tumbler.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So this shit doesn't happen.
Uh-huh. Yeah, just, learn a little HTML, make your own theme, have a completely unique tumbler, make sure you get a good URL.
Wrong kind of tumbler.
Yes,
but
I
know. But yeah, like as soon as they both have the silver, I'm like, okay, so now how is Nico drinking the truth serum gonna fuck with things?
What I really loved, well, not loved, it was interesting how there was no way to know that these drinks were supposed to be identical. How do you drink a drink that you didn't make and go, yes, this is mine? Like, how would Nico not immediately know?
Especially since, and
like, it would still affect her.
Other thing.
It would still affect her
Well,
because obviously she had a drink of it, so it'll work. But like, she's still drinking it when we see it kick in.
Right, and here's my question. Okay, it's a two-parter. One, we were told that it would kick in after half an hour, and for Nico it kicked in immediately.
Well, no, we just saw it kick in. She was in the middle of an interrogation. So she probably started drinking it earlier. They just had to establish that she had been drinking it, so they had to show her drinking it.
Okay.
Look, it's
Fine.
not a...
Right.
They didn't show her opening it to drink it for the first time. It was already open, so the implication is that it's been consumed.
Okay, fine. I'll allow it.
Mm-hmm.
So the second part of that question is when Macy goes to Harry and is, I want to drink some tea with you, whatever. She doesn't drink it, which is fine. I get that.
But he doesn't notice.
But he doesn't notice that she doesn't drink it.
Uh-huh.
At all.
Yeah.
And he doesn't, like... I don't understand how, like... How do I explain this? I don't understand why they're making him look stupid. Because you'd think it wouldn't have taken him half an hour to figure out that she was just wasting time.
Yeah. They didn't show her miming it or anything.
Because, like, he goes to take a sip and then stops because he says something. And she goes, don't you want to try the tea? That's when I would have been like, what is in this tea that you want me to try it so bad?
Yeah, and she was really eyeing that,
that
glass. Also, I'm pretty sure they misspelled Royal Dalton in the captions on CW.
I have no idea.
Because I'm pretty sure it's Dalton, and they put a U in there for some reason. Like, okay, that doesn't... Putting a U in it doesn't make it British. It's already British.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't watching it on that, so I didn't have captions. But I think that's my biggest thing is like, why are they... Like, I understand... Okay, let me rephrase. I understand why they're doing it, because they wanted to draw it out so that it was, like, right before the time.
Yeah.
Whatever. But, like, why are they making him stupid? I just don't get it.
Well, they're not committing to exploring him yet, because the whole catch at the end of the first episode is that Spirit Board's telling them not to trust him, so obviously they can't go into his perspective. They have to take it from theirs because they're in doubt. And, like, they purposefully make him mostly non-communicative about what's going on to help foment that doubt in the girls. So probably coming up, he's gonna be a little more expressive and talk about them, and they're gonna start training with him somehow. We don't know how that's gonna look. I can't wait for him to get a little more personality too.
Yeah. I can't wait for him to stop being stereotypically annoying
And dramatic.
Yeah. The other thing that I laughed about with the whole, like, because in that scene where the thermos switching happened and Nico is giving Mel the thing, whatever, and in my notes I wrote, Mel liking pickles did not make me like her anymore. I was like I like Kendra. Kendra likes pickles. Mel liking pickles does not mean anything to me.
No, but it was cute. It was a cute way to.
It was a cute way to show that
cares.
Yeah, it was a cute way to show that they've had a relationship and that she isn't giving up on that, and I get that, and it was cute. But it was
I've
just
decided that not all domestic tasks are oppressive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh God, is she get? Well, she might have to take up sewing now. No, she probably won't, because I don't think their mom actually had a sewing machine.
Yeah, I don't know. The other thing, jumping around again, the Ouija board saying, release me. And they immediately are like, it's gotta be Mom. Like, why are you so stupid? I don't.
I mean, it was a little too easy to believe. Like, there weren't a whole lot of warning signs when like, even before the spirit came out, she's like, oh, I've been asking her questions, like, she knows everything.
Right, well, here's the thing.
And there's no indication about how this could be possible for it not to be their mother.
Well, but here's the thing, right? So, if you're thinking logically about things, and this is the thing with Mel, is she doesn't think logically.
No, she doesn't.
She thinks very much emotionally. The spirit board writes out Melly, which I immediately was like, okay, so that's her mother's nickname for her. And so whatever spirit is in this is in her brain somehow.
See, and you could go that route, or you could go, oh, she knows that, like, the trope is that you ask the very specific questions that only the person knows, and if they know it, then it's the person you think it is. So there wasn't a lot of setup to believe that there would be a possibility for any kind of telepathic manipulation dealio. Like, they didn't preface that. So it was a little difficult for me to go, well, what's the... Like, obviously, it can't be their mother. That would be too easy and too simple. Yeah. And that would create a completely unresolvable conflict between them and Harry, which obviously can't go on.
Right.
But it's not... It's very atypical for it to be like a mind-reading demon.
I don't know.
Without it being like a person there who does things that show you they indicate that they are reading your mind kind of deal.
I don't know. I think
like, literally, for me, the first indication that it was very obviously not their mother was when Maggie couldn't, like, get emotions or read thoughts.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that's supposed to be the turn at which the audience is supposed to clue in. But, like, that was the first time. Otherwise, the episode felt like it was riding hard for it to be their mother in a way that was clearly a red herring.
Yeah, I think for me, it might be just because, like, I was immediately in the it can't be their mother camp.
I mean, I was,
like, right from the start.
And I was too in a like plot way, in a way that wouldn't make sense. I wasn't in a, oh, they're showing us this, but there's a thing happening that tells me it can't be. It was just me on my own, like, getting there.
Yeah, I guess so. It was one of those where, like, as soon as the Ouija board spelled out Melly, I'm like, yeah, something tells me this is not going to be their mother, and it's pulling things from her head about, it can only be Mom if she calls me this. It can only be Mom if she says this. And it's those little things. Because then, when they do release this, you know, trickster thing that's pretending to be their mother, and when Maggie is like, this isn't right, but we had heard Maggie say that it's always been Mel and Mom, and then the trickster demon was like, it's always been you and me.
Yeah.
And that's how Mel is finally like, well, you're not my mother.
Yeah.
Because Mom would never say that. Mm-hmm. That's when I was like, see, I was right. I knew it. Because that's how it was. It was feeding off of what they were giving it.
Yeah, I know, but there just wasn't a lot of preface material to set that up in
right,
like a
and
tropey way.
I think that it might have possibly been the reason that it was so easy for me to realize that is because I've watched a lot of sci-fi.
Yeah, that's probably
and
it.
a lot of Doctor Who and a lot of stuff that's how this works. And so my brain immediately is like, okay, so this is how this is going to work, right? And then when it did do that, I was like, okay, cool, I'm writing the scripts again. You know, like, I knew it was going to happen. I knew it was going to be that way. And I was like, okay, I'm good now. It's nice to know the elders are still a thing.
Yes, he just dropped that in.
Yeah, so here's my thing, right? So I know that one of our listeners was being all weird about him saying the word we, and then him mentioning the elders, and the girls never...
Oh, no, that was me.
Was that you?
That was me.
Okay, I was like, I knew it was somebody. Was
It
acknowledging...
might have also been someone else, but it was definitely me.
Okay. So mentioning the we and the elders and the girls not questioning it at all, something tells me that he told them more than what we saw him tell them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, this has been so much from their perspective so far, and I feel like we've pretty much seen just about everything he's said to them.
And that's what, like, I'm giving
Like,
it the benefit of the doubt in this regard.
There's some, like, interstitial moments, but that's just like hey, we've come back from commercial break and half the show time has passed. But, like, not much.
I think also, for me personally, I think that the girls not acknowledging the we and the elders and whatever is... I am okay with the fact that they are assuming that he's not the only white lighter in existence.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't have an issue with the fact that they're not questioning him on the we thing. It's like, well, you can't be the only one. That wouldn't make sense. If we're witches, that means there's other witches. If there's demons, that means there's, other people fighting these demons as well. We're not the only ones in existence. And if you're our guide, that means that those witches have to have guides too. So I don't have an issue with that. I just wish that there would be a little bit more, like, I don't know. I think,
World
again...
building?
Yeah, a little bit more world building. And I think, again, not trying to compare it to the original, but, like, we have yet to have, like, an Elder's Chime kind of thing. We have yet to have any sort of anything of them calling him.
If that's even how it's going to work.
Yeah, if that's even going to happen. So I think that's part of it is we're still pulling stuff from the original and trying to place it into this show. And we have to stop doing that.
Yeah. Based on the structure of these, they're going to start training with Harry, so I feel like we're going to learn a lot more about how they're setting up the magical world in this show.
Yeah.
In the next few episodes. We just haven't yet because it's been like one thing after another for them. But I have a feeling we shall find out.
Yeah. The other thing is, after the whole, killing of the mom demon.
Oh, about that, I would have loved for there to have been more contrast between, oh, it looks like mom, and then it looks like a demon. Like,
yeah.
I would have loved if it wasn't just, oh, her eyes change and she goes feral. Like,
yeah, I kind of wish they had changed what she looks like completely.
I would have loved for it to be like, oh, like her hair completely changes color and suddenly her dress is like made out of rags. Like that kind of a thing. Yeah. Like clearly
I do have to say though, that dress was really pretty.
It was. Like if it was a perception filter type thing like on Doctor Who where you're like, you remember the Venetian vampires?
Yes.
Like if you're looking at them and they're putting up this front that makes them look like regular people, but really, they got fangs, bitch, and they look like fish.
Yeah.
But, not copying that, just like...
Yeah. I do wish that once Mel had stabbed the lookalike of their mother, that it had completely changed form.
Yeah.
That would have been nice.
Kind of like how the professor
completely
changed.
Exactly. Like, I would have liked that much better, because then it would have been... You're not fighting your mother who's a demon. You're fighting a demon.
Yeah.
Who is pretending to be your mother.
Yeah, maybe have like a little suspense, like delay between the stabbing and like her falling, and then suddenly her appearance like melts away and demon.
Yeah. But yeah, having it just be their mother being all feral and weird, it was a little odd.
Also, did you love how the front-facing camera did not show a mirror image?
Yeah.
And it moved. And she wasn't moving. That was weird.
Yeah, though I do have to say that is the one thing that I really, really enjoy about updating this to the technology age, is that no mirrors around, just use selfie setting.
Yeah.
Like, I enjoyed that.
And Maggie's got the perfect phone case for that, clearly.
Yeah, she has the light up phone case, which I thought was hilarious.
Uh-huh. Very Maggie.
Yeah. But
also, what is the costume department's obsession with those sleeves?
Oh, man. Yeah.
Those, like, it's kind of a leg of
They're
mutton.
Lady Gaga sleeves.
Where I saw. No, it reminds me of, like, a leg of mutton sleeve. Like, from Victorian era.
The little poofies.
Yeah. It's like...
But they were, like, pointed poofies,
yeah,
too,
it's like a cross between a Victorian sleeve and, like, shoulder pads.
Yeah, it was very weird.
I kind of like it, but I've seen it on 3 different people in the show so far. In 2 different episodes.
Yeah, they're trying to make it a thing.
It's a choice.
Yeah, it is a choice. That is for sure. I do also enjoy the fact that while we started the episode with the ooze was not the bad guy of the episode.
True.
And that the ooze will come back in probably the next episode.
Yeah, that was
or
the
later.
B plot.
Yeah, I do like that they're trying to have an arc.
Mm-hmm.
And so this ooze thing wasn't the bad guy right now, so it will come back. No. And I do like that.
Yes, it has harbinged, so
exactly.
The harbinging begins.
The other thing that I wonder about is why, after the whole prism thing, and so now they've defeated the demon and they still have this prism, they automatically trust Harry with it. I'm sorry. I would still be like, hold please. Can we just give you a little bit of this truth serum real quick? Like, we made it. We would like to, now that we are being honest with each other and we have killed this demon that looked like our mother, can we just trust you to trust us that we can give you this truth serum? And then we can ask you a couple questions. And then once we actually know that you're telling us the truth, then we can hand you this thing. Because you've now told us that this little prism will take away our powers. And now, oh yeah, you helped us, so we're going to trust you implicitly.
Yeah, I think it's just supposed to show that they've learned the error of, like, automatically trusting the thing they hadn't already met. Like,
I guess so, but
clearly Harry had told them the truth about everything thus far. So they're like, well, we have to show that we're at least trusting him this much.
I think it's because of how powerful the prism is that it annoys me.
Yeah.
Like, you're telling me this prism can take away our powers, and now we're handing this to you, not fully trusting that you are really who you say you are, but here you go, have the thing that can take away our powers.
I mean, to be fair, the thing it was locked inside the mirror could only be opened by the 3 of them.
I get that. I do. But I think that was my biggest thing. Is I was like, really? You're not even gonna... Oh, okay. Sure. Okay. Because that was my annoyance in that. The other thing...
It kind of looked like the mirror of Erised.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
The other thing that I also wanted to touch on is the message of stop living in the past.
Yeah.
Is a good message.
Yeah.
I like that one a lot. And the don't live in a dead woman's shrine is also a nice message. To like move on with your life. But I'm just wondering now how long we have to wait for Maggie's ex to become a bad guy. Because he's already been possessed once.
Yeah.
So
that might be a storyline.
That might be a storyline. The other question that I have, speaking of Maggie's ex,
or if he's not going to be a bad guy, he's going to be seduced by the dark side, as it were. Yeah.
So here's the other thing. Speaking again of,
he might feel he's been friend zoned.
Well, okay, so they had this sex scene thing, the horny teenager portion of the show. I have a question about it, because the way that it seemed was they were all about the going at it. Her powers take effect and she's hearing the weird shit in his head, which is fine. I get that. You know, he likes her boobs. Okay, great. But as soon as she gets on top of him,
yeah,
he starts thinking of things that are trying to stop the mood. So my question is, was he just trying not to, like, be prematurely excited? And so he was trying to slow himself down?
Maybe?
Because that's the only thing that I could think of. I'm like, why, if you're into this,
yeah, he might have
trying to stop yourself?
Too into it.
Yeah. Because at the end of it, and that's the other thing, is that when they cut to them being done or whatever, she still has her bra on.
She still has underwear on.
So it's like, did
like,
they
you
not
see it
have
under
sex?
the sheet?
Well, I didn't even. I noticed
or like
the
a skirt or something.
But it's like, so did they not have sex? Did they, like, it was a very confusing scene.
Yeah, it was.
And it was like, why did we need that?
Boops, 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 boops.
You know, because then we get to hear him think, I love her.
Yeah.
I've got to get her back. Which, you know, immediately is like, okay, he's either going to become the bad guy because he's going to become the obsessed ex-boyfriend because she won't take him back, or whatever reason. But that was my biggest thing. It's like, why did we need this scene? And it's not even just the asexual in me talking.
No, I know.
It's like, why did we need this scene? Why did we have to have the half-naked people getting it on?
Honestly, it was probably just to show how adversely this is affecting Maggie's life. Like, it's affecting all corners of her social life. Like, she can't be...
I guess so,
She can't be, like, in the sorority without this shit cropping up, and it's affecting her relationship with the Kappa head, and she can't, like, hang out with her friends. Mind you, we haven't seen any other friends besides Kappa and the ex.
Yeah.
So that should be happening. Actually, we haven't seen anyone's friends except for who was introduced in the pilot.
Yeah.
Like, other than Nico and Galvin and the Kappa head and Brian, no one else is in these girls' lives yet.
Yeah.
This is weird.
It is a little odd, and I just wonder how it's all going to play out in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like I said, I'm worried about the ex-boyfriend becoming a bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to figure out whether Galvin and Nico are this show's version of Daryl and Andy.
I doubt it, because there's no indication they've even met.
No, not like together.
Oh, okay.
But like Nico is like Andy,
Yeah,
and Galvin is like Daryl. In that,
yeah,
Nico
I see
is the cop with the relationship with one of the sisters.
Yeah.
And Daryl is the one that they're going to go to for all of their problems.
No, I think they are definitely trying to set up Nico as an Andy type.
Yeah.
Whether or not they're going to capitalize on that, who knows?
Because the first episode we had Nico's partner who was the dude, but he doesn't seem like someone that the girls are going to go to.
No.
So
He doesn't really even get lines, does he?
Yeah, I don't even remember.
I think he had one.
I don't remember his name, which tells you a lot.
Yeah, I know. I think he had one line in this episode and maybe one line in the pilot, if that.
Yeah, I don't much remember him. I just remember that he was there, but other than that, I don't really remember him. But that's what I'm saying is I'm hoping, because I'm still liking Macy a lot. Science Sister is my fave. I'm thinking that because she's working with Galvin, that at some point he's going to be clued in. He's going to be their Daryl. And he's going to know what's going on and be able to try and help them.
At the very least, they seem to be setting it up as a love interest.
And I really hope it doesn't become a love interest, but that's just a me thing.
Yeah, I know.
I really hate the fact of trying to, we have to have love interests in everything. And it's like, okay, we already have Nico and Mel, and that being a relationship that hopefully won't be a toxic one.
Yeah.
Why does everybody have to have a relationship? But again, I understand that's a me thing.
Uh-huh.
And I am probably in the minority in that, but
we are the 1%.
We are the 1%. I wish more shows had platonic relationships and kept them that way.
Yeah.
You know, like Castle. Castle would have been a much better show had they not gotten them together.
Mm-hmm. Rizzoli and Isles would have been a much better show if they had gotten them together.
Well.
Uh-huh. No.
Yeah, there is that.
My mother used to watch Rizzoli and Isles, and I walked in at one point, I'm watching them interact, and I'm like, oh, this is gay.
Yeah, a little bit.
And my mom's like, what? I'm like, oh, they should date. She's like, They're partners. And I'm like, have you seen every other cop show out there?
I know, right?
They should date.
Yep.
Have you seen Bones? They should date.
Yeah. See, Bones is one that did it right.
Uh-huh.
And that, I think, is why sometimes it's okay.
I did love that storyline where they flash back to like, oh, we almost slept together. And then shit happened. And now we kind of hate each other, but we're learning to work together again.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of things. I have a lot of thoughts.
Mm-hmm. You usually do.
Yeah. I think for my final thoughts on all of it is that for a second episode, it's grown leaps and bounds over the pilot.
Uh-huh.
Which I hope that means it will just keep getting better from here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still getting used to the whole science aspect of the Macy thing, but it's growing on me. I like it in that they're trying to bring more science in with the magic.
Yeah.
Because that's how her brain thinks, and so she thinks much more logically.
Mm-hmm.
And I really, really do. I also like that Maggie is bringing in the technology side of things, like using the selfie on the selfie mode on the camera because they didn't have a mirror. Mel is still my least favorite, but she's slowly gaining a personality, and so I'm hoping that I will like her more, because I don't dislike her quite as much as I did from the first episode.
Yeah, I definitely like her a little bit more, but I wasn't as like unset on her to begin with.
Yeah. And before we finish this out, we have to bring up Mom Bong.
Mom Bong!
Because I have to ask.
It's adorable.
It's a hilarious thread, and I get why they put it in, and that's great. Because then it was, the demon mom being like, yes, how could I forget my 8-year-old making me a bong? But here's my question. And maybe it's because we're in a fictional town, but we're still thinking of this as it's a fictional town somewhere in California. Okay? Like, at least that's
more Pacific Northwest to me.
Well, but that's where my brain went, because the original show was in San Francisco, so my brain immediately thinks California. Mm-hmm. But here's my question. How did an 8-year-old get away with making a bong in art class without getting in trouble for it?
Because who's going to look at an 8-year-old and, like, it looked like she just wrapped yarn around the original bong.
No, it looks like it was made out of ceramic.
It looked like yarn to me.
Like, I don't know what it was made out of.
Either way. No, it looked, well, first of all, it looked like it was just wrapped in yarn, and it looked too much like a bong for it to be something an 8-year-old made on her own. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it looks like she probably brought the pieces of the bong to art class, glued them together, and then wrapped a bunch of yarn around it and, like, made stuff.
See, and to me, it looked like it was ceramic. Like, she made a
It
bong
had this
out of
weird,
ceramic.
like, ridged quality, though. I don't know how an 8-year-old would get that with ceramic. Because it was thin enough that it looked like yarn. You know what I mean?
I have done coil pottery.
Yeah, but, like, really thin coils? Okay, I have coil pottery that I made when I was 8. Literally, it was my 8th birthday party. Nowhere near that sophisticated.
Hey, she's an artistic genius, apparently. But it
was damn cute.
It was cute. But that's my question, is like, how does an 8-year-old make a bong in school art class and not get in trouble for it?
Well, she also
or not get at least a question of, like, how do you know what this is? What are you making?
I have 3 words. Actually, 2 words. Pacific Northwest.
Well.
Yep.
Yeah.
If this is Oregon, that's why.
Well, yeah.
And based on, like, the climate they're showing, it feels very Oregon-y. Especially with the light filter they're using for all of the outdoor shots. But, like, also, she named it the Mom Bong, I'm presuming, after she brought it home and showed it to Mom. She didn't know what it was called. So she probably was just like, I broke my mom's, like, flower pot or something, and she made a flower pot. And the teacher's like, that doesn't look like a flower pot. That looks like a very different kind of pot. And just, like, the teacher didn't want to get the kid in trouble because the kid clearly didn't know.
I guess so. It was just, that was
Would you want to get an 8-year-old in trouble for something they don't know is a bong?
Yeah, no, but I just...
Like, if they walked in with, like, a weed pipe and they're pretending to be Sherlock Holmes, are you going to get that kid in trouble? Like, no, you're going to play along. And then maybe call their parent and go, hey, your kid has your pipe.
You might want to look into this and hide your shit better.
Uh-huh.
You know.
Like if a kid accidentally brings their mom's vibrator to school because they're just like, it was a funny shape or something.
Yeah.
Or it was colorful. Like, they have those ones that look like butterflies, and maybe the kid walks in with that, and they're like, I've seen that at Lover's Lane. Don't tell the child.
Yeah. I get, okay, so I get it. I do. But like, that was my very first thought. It was like, how does this not get you
It's a little far-fetched.
A little bit.
But it makes for a great story.
It does. It was funny, and it made for a lovely little tie-in at the end there, and it was nice. But, yeah, I mean, if we were rating, I would give this episode a 7 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
It was better than the last one.
Yeah.
Still not as good as it could have been. And I'm hoping that it will just get better from here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So are we done?
Yeah. We have no sign off.
Never.